All right. Hello, folks. Welcome to Wednesday Night Magic here at Top 8 Gaming. Sorry about the delay there. We had some technical problems to start the night, apparently, so that's always a fun way to start. Anyways, as always, I am Ryan, and on my left I have Martin tonight with me.
Hello.
So thank you all for joining us again tonight. As always, we're going to have our 4 rounds. We're going to start with Modern. We're already underway in Modern, so we're going to jump right into the action. We're not going to waste any time there. So we'll go back to our bigger screen. There we are. So on our left, we have Adam here. We've had him on camera before. He's playing his green-white hardened scales +1/+1 counter sort of deck. There we go. And on our right, we have CJ, who is playing Mill, as should be fairly evident from his board state at the moment. So, 2 very different game plans here. Adam at an aggro-based deck, whereas CJ is going to be, his opponent's life total is 60, not 20. So,
Yes.
Now, Adam has milled a bunch of cards. It's just right now the graveyard's a little bit off camera, so we'll see if we can get that graveyard back on screen. Because, yeah, he has milled quite a few. We see an archive trap in CJ's graveyard there, so that alone is going to be 13 cards. Right now, Adam's gone ahead and played a Spike Feeder. We'll pull Spike Feeder up. He's part of a different combo usually. Typically part of the... what am I thinking
toolbox
of?
decks.
Yeah, toolbox style decks with things like Archangel of Thune. That's the one thing.
Yep.
There we go, yes.
It's an infinite combo. You remove 1 counter from a Spike Feeder, you gain 2 life, and then Archangel puts a counter back on the Spike Feeder as well as everything else. And so you have very, very large creatures and a very, very large high life total. Not infinite, but high enough to not matter.
Yeah. Apparently our card preview window not wanting to work tonight, it would seem. All right, let's try again. Come on, find one that works for me. No, just not tonight. All right. Let's try again. No, just sorry, but let's try and see if I can get the Spike Feeder up on our camera here. What do you mean Spike Feeder is not a thing? What are you doing? There we are. Okay, there we go. I'm on screen now. So there he is there. So when he comes into play with 2 counters on him. In this case here, thanks to Hardened Scales, he's come into play with an extra 1. Adam then also chose to graft the +1/+1 counter from his land over to the Spiked Feeder, putting another 2 onto it as well.
Do you remember the name of that land?
No.
New Lanoir.
There you go, New Lanoir. Yeah. Only seen it on camera once and didn't stick, obviously.
Fair enough.
Okay, so CJ right now with the Parahedron Crabs, saying that whenever a land comes into play under his control, he gets to have his opponent mill 3 cards. So right now, Adam is casting a copy of Dramoka's Command, opting to have the +1/+1 mode of adding a counter to a creature, which is going to give him 2, plus fight another creature. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to fight down that Spike Feeder onto the Hedron Crab. And then he's going to go ahead and attack for 7. So this is a pretty big attack from this innocuous little 3-drop that you would not normally expect to see get this aggressive. Mentioning earlier, Spike Feeder typically involved in the infinite life gain deck with Archangel of Thune. This case really just being used as a way to pad his life total as well as be a big beater. Now, the life total part, not relevant as CJ is going to cast a breaking and entering here, opting for the breaking half, which will pull up. If we can get it pulled up here. There we are. Breaking and entering. So one of the Return to Ravnica block split cards, and he has chosen to cast the mill half of it here. CJ just taking a look through.
All right, remote desktop's not working, so we're gonna have to update life totals ourselves.
Okay. CJ's at 52. How is he at 52? Oh, did he? Oh, okay. All right, so CJ's at
Did he
52.
crypt incursion?
Yeah, that's a cryptic card.
Okay.
That's what I was curious about. Okay. So yeah, CJ's got quite the life total right now. Again, we're not right now able to see. Can we move Adam's graveyard? We're trying to get Adam's graveyard on camera so we can kind of get an idea of what he's lost here. Right now, it's off to the side a little too far, and we can't quite see it.
Yeah, when I was up there just now to answer Judge's question, I noticed that it was rather small. It was probably 20 cards or less.
Well, it might have been after the exile part of Crypt Incursion.
I meant the library. The library was 20, about 20 cards.
Okay. So here we see Nissa coming down into play, ticking down. Going to put 2 counters on that spike feeder. Crossy comes for 9. CJ going to block, which is interesting.
Yeah, when your life total is that high,
Yeah.
usually you'd rather keep your mill outlets
I'm
there.
curious what's in his hand. Looks like there's another Hedron Crawler.
Hedron
Crab. Rather,
Yeah.
yeah. Big difference there. An Archive Trap. I can see. And a Gate.
Two,
It's like 2 Archive Traps. Okay. So if Adam fetches, he's just dead.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Looks like
Or he searches
might,
in any way.
Yeah. I think he actually did draw a fetch land.
That'd be unfortunate. We'll pull Archive Trap up on screen, not one you see often. There it is. So yes, if an opponent searches their library this turn, you can pay 0 instead of the 5 it normally costs. Target opponent mills or puts the top 13 cards from his library into their graveyard. So it's a pretty big chunk of your deck. It's a quarter of your deck with Archive Trap. So Nissa going up, making a plant token. Really no other option for her this turn, obviously. It's a big old spike feeder, though, and it doesn't matter at all to CJ. Nah, gaining another 18 life isn't going to change things here for Adam.
Well, that is a 6-turn clock.
It is. I mean, you have to imagine he's going to find something he can cast before then. There's a Simic Initiate.
It's got
coming.
Graft 1.
Yep, it's going to come into play with 2 counters on it thanks to that Hardened Scales. And the follow-up is going to be a Selfless Spirit. So interesting choice there. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and opt to put 2 counters onto the Selfless Spirit thanks to that Simic Initiate. So Hardened Scale is really showing what the point of it is when you combine it with something like Graft.
Yeah.
Graft, not a mechanic you see often. In fact, what we'll do is we'll pull up the Initiate on screen. Because again, as a... if I spell it right. Shoot. There we are. So comes into play with a +1/+1 counter on it, and then whenever a creature comes into play under your control, or any creature in general, I should say, you can move that counter onto it instead. So if you so choose to help your opponent, you can do that. CJ shocking down to 50. Has a copy of Visions of Beyond
In his graveyard. Oh, and in his,
in his hand. Yeah, so able to draw 3 cards, I imagine, at this point.
Yeah, just straight up Ancestral Visions.
It's not bad.
Or Ancestral Recall, rather.
And that was a Minefield off the top. That's going to be pretty big here. Looks like he's going to cast that. Yep, so Adam going to have to find 4 lands here. And, this is the point of the game where I look at my deck and my graveyard and kind of think, how many lands do I have left? Is it even 4? There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Oh, no. Oh, come on. There's 4. Okay, and we see that there is the Archangel of Thune in Adam's deck. However, again, his life total is not going to matter in this matchup. His life total is 60, effectively, and there's no way to bolster that for himself, short of just jamming his whole sideboard into it. Now, he is representing an attack here for, right now, 9, 13, 14. And if he chooses to tick down Nissa, it's going to add another 8.
Yeah.
So you can attack for 22 here, if math's correct. And if he finds a land, add another 8. So 30. So he can have him on a 2-turn clock if CJ doesn't have anything. Just draw land. Yeah, I mean, a land here lets him activate his Gavany Township, assuming it comes into play untapped, which it does not because it's Razorbird's Thicket, unfortunately. So we'll see exactly what... It's unfortunate for him that was a tap land there. That could have been huge.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say he doesn't have other ways to put counters on things. Okay, another Selfless Spirit. Interesting, he does this main pre-combat instead of getting in for the 1 damage. I mean,
I'm also surprised he didn't minus the Nissa while the Initiate wasn't still in play.
Sure, yeah, could have made it even bigger.
Just means you can attack with it this turn.
Yeah. But there we see the tick down on Nissa. That is an 11/11 Spike Feeder. In they come, so 11 plus 6 plus 2 is going to be 19 damage coming across.
Yeah.
CJ plummeting to 31.
Yep.
So we'll see. Copying it, that's big. He can now just hardcast Archive Trap.
Actually does have lethal in play. He can just activate his Gavany Township and attack for, I believe it'd be 33.
That's not going to matter, though. CJ is drawing the land to hardcast this.
Yep.
This copy of Archive Trap is going to end the game for Adam, assuming there's less 13 cards there. And yeah, it looks like there's 6. So, yep. CJ says, yep, I'll just mill you out. Adam says, I'll gain 1 billion life. Sure. Okay.
And
fairly sure that's his game. I think. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, looks like that's the case. So, CJ does go up 1-0. Pretty compelling match there. So going to the sideboards here, who do you like in this matchup, Martin? Do you like Infect, or do you like the aggressive token, +1/+1 counter side of this matchup? Who are you rooting for here?
I think CJ has some very good tools in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's. I think CJ is favored here. Adam's deck is fairly straightforward. It's a bit more of a mid-range deck than it is an aggressive deck, though.
Sure.
And usually you need to be a lot more aggressive to punish the mill strategies.
I just don't think it's fast enough.
No.
I imagine his best starts are going to be something like turn 1 Hardened Scales, turn 2 Simic Initiate for a 2/2.
Yeah.
Like maybe double Simic Initiate. I just don't see that being good enough.
And for any viewers watching, something that's instinctual while playing against mill is to just bring in your entire sideboard into your main deck. That is not a strategy we would recommend.
No.
You really end up diluting your deck. So you might think you start off the game with 15 extra life in a way, but really you're just making your entire deck.
You're making it harder to draw your land.
Yeah.
Unless you have sideboard land, but I can't imagine that's the case. Now in draft, if someone's milling you out in draft, that's their only win con. Bring in 3,000 lands and you just say, "Go, good luck."
It's true.
You grab that land box, you shuffle it up, and say, "You good luck, sir." If you can mill me, you win. Probably not, though. I bet you deck first.
Well, that's when the mill deck sides in a bear. Nothing
right.
to beat that.
They might see that sideboard plan coming out of you when you go grab the land box
Yes.
and put it down in front of you and say, "This is my deck now. Go." I board up my other 40 cards. I don't even care what they were. I am nothing. I'm lands. Go. I'll even mull to 0.
The ultimate plan.
That's right. A deck of 3,000 lands and you mull to 0 and say go to your opponent on the, and you go on the play especially.
Oh yeah.
You don't even
have
draw
to.
first. You just go. You have 8 cards. Good luck. 32 turns to go.
Don't even play your lands.
Millie for 5. That's cute. All right, game 2 coming up now. Adam is going to need a very aggressive start to have any real shot here.
Yes.
If CJ has a poor keep or maybe draws a lot of lands, something along those lines, sure, he can definitely take it down. But
Especially if he's stuck with archive traps and Adam doesn't have a fetch. Looks like Adam, after doing all that shuffling, turns out he's actually just smoke screening.
almost forgot maybe.
Yeah, possibly. If you are going to smoke screen your opponent, don't take a minute to shuffle your deck before taking those cards out.
Maybe he's thinking. I don't know. All right, Adam shuffling back up again.
Just when going to a tournament, I mean, be considerate of how much time it's taking you to shuffle your deck.
Sure, that makes sense. Time is always a factor. A little under 30 minutes to go for these two folks here to play this match out. So, all right, players drawing for game 2. Adam will have the play.
Yeah.
Mill is one of those decks that if you're just not ready for it, it just beats you.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
There we see from CJ a Mesmeric Orb, a Glimpse the Unthinkable. It looks like he has a Polluted Delta. Okay, that's a brush land for Adam. It's going to fall down to 19. And out comes a Bird of Paradise. So, not an aggressive start, but it is probably one of his better starts.
Yeah. And that bird is going to let him get his board state advanced much faster, to the point where in the end it might actually cut down the kill turn by a turn or two.
Absolutely. So CJ falling to 19 with that fetch land gets out an island. That almost looks like Kataki in Adam's hand. I can't imagine that being Kataki. Oh, I'm right, it's Kataki.
Okay, maybe he did side in some extra cards.
Or just the whole board.
Yeah.
Our spotter upstairs confirming for me. And there we have a Jace's Phantasm coming down from CJ. And it looks like, according to this, Adam did bring in most of his cards. So, interesting approach. There's a Hanger Backwalker for 1.
Looks like Adam didn't have a second land, and this is the
No,
biggest
this
problem.
is this is why you don't bring most of your cards in.
Yeah, when you side in too many cards, your deck suddenly has too few lands.
Yeah,
and you don't get to cast any of your spells.
And there's a glimpse of the unthinkable. So this is going to be a mill for 10. This is arguably one of the best mill spells there is.
Well, besides Archive Trap. What's better than milling 10 for 2 mana? Milling 13 for 0 mana.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, that's why I said arguably. There's contenders, of course, and yes, Archive Trap is definitely one of them. But there we have, all of these going away. Looks like there's 3 lands in there. Yep, 3 lands, and now we have a Jace's Phantasm attacking for 5. So we'll bring that one up again. Not one you see very much of, but there it is. A 1/1 for versus the blue, but as long as an opponent has 10 or more cards in their graveyard, it gets +4/+4. I believe these are in CJ's sideboard. I think game 1 he just goes all in on the mill plan.
Yeah.
Game 2 he kind of diverts a little bit and turns into a beatdown as well with something like this. And I believe he also had a second copy of Phantasm in his hand. So that's going to be 2 5/5 flyers for blue. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Adam, we'll see if he found a second land here or not. It doesn't look like that's the case. And Kentucky at this time, really just a liability with that hanger back in play.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get some sweet Thopters to block those Jace's Phantasms, actually a bit useful.
Sure.
You just don't pay for the hanger back walker, and you get yourself some chump blockers.
Sure.
Right?
That is correct. Those are correct words. It looks like CJ had a copy of Lost Legacy in hand as well. Curious what his idea to name with that would be. There we have Hangerback being ticked up on the main phase. Okay. Interesting. So CJ draws in a gate for the turn. He could just slam this as Merrick Orb here. Nope, just another 5/5 is good though. It's not bad. Alright, take 5 more.
Doesn't Mesmeric Orb cost 3 mana?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a Rorkop cost 2. That is a 2.
Oh, it does cost
You're thinking of Icy Manipulator probably.
Yeah, I love that card.
Very similar art. But that is the card that's in CJ's hand currently. Whenever a permanent becomes untapped, its controller mills the top card of their deck. So it's a mirrored effect on both sides of the battlefield. It's not one-sided here at all, but CJ is not really hindered by this kind of card. It's
So now Adam not only lost his Kataki in time to make chump blockers window, but also CJ is presenting lethal damage.
yeah. This bird being tapped is also going to represent that. It looks like he has a Jamoka's command in hand. He can definitely just fight it down. Yeah, I think he's just going to go for counter fight. Adam falls to 8. Just going to counter fight to get 3 1/1 blockers.
Perfect.
I wouldn't say perfect at all, but sure. All right. And still no second land for Adam, so
Well, that could
taking
be
a
fine. Adam 2 turns.
bold line to board in, let's even say 13 cards or 12 cards. But yeah, again, this is the problem you run into where now you have 12 more non-land cards in your deck, let's say, and you're not going to draw those lands. And there's a Mind Funeral, and he just has more cards to hit now.
Yeah.
So let's see. One
There's
land,
one. That's 2.
2 lands,
3.
3 lands.
And
All
Mind
right.
Funeral, one of the most crushing cards if you're in Adam's position,
Yeah.
where you just want to draw a land.
And this
but
is
you know
saying
that the last card that just got milled was a land. What are the odds that there was 2 lands in a row?
Yeah, exactly. And there's the block from the Thopter. That's another.
It's
That's
like
the
he drew
hardened
Hardened
scales.
So-
Right on time.
And
Right on time.
he can use his Bird of Paradise for mana this turn. He is still going to be able to block one of the Phantasms with the Thopter.
Yeah,
and
he's not-
survive,
he's
but,
not dead by
he's
any
not
means
in a
here.
good position.
Yeah, he's not just dead, but he's not in a good spot either. If he wants to use mana, he needs to use this bird probably. Short of like a Path to Exile or a Hardened Scales, or another bird perhaps, or a Simic Initiate. Yeah, bird.
Making 2 mana.
Yep, down to 7. He's gonna fall here. By the looks of it. And we have a Selfless Spirit. So he shouldn't have taken 1 there. Should still be at 8.
Yeah.
Selfless Spirit, it's interesting. He's got another 2 turns here with the way this board is currently. Because he can block this turn both the Phantasm, sacrifice Spirit, keep the Thopter alive.
Yep.
Then he still has 2 flying blockers the next turn. I mean, I don't like Adam's spot regardless, but...
No.
And there's a Crypt Incursion. CJ says, I'll just gain a bunch of life. Why not?
Yeah. Nothing better.
If you thought you could win before, haha, guess again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 creatures exiled here. So that should be, if I'm not mistaken, 27 points of life gained. So we'll bring up Crypt Incursion on screen. I believe it's 3 life for each card gained. So 27 life gained here for CJ. bringing him up to 46. So for anyone that might have questioned why was he at 50 last game, that's the card right there. That was the reason why.
Yeah.
In come those two Phantasms, and like we thought, there's the double block, and there's the sacrifice of the Selfless Spirit to keep the Thopter alive. Let's see what Adam can draw here. No mill that turn, but a lot of life gained for CJ. No land again. Another Nissa he's drawn here instead.
Yep. CJ could have been at 49 if he had just waiting for until post-combat.
Yeah.
Got to get that Selfless Spirit.
If he dies because of 1 to 3 life this game, I'm gonna laugh right in his face. That Thopper's got a lot of work to do, though.
It's true.
Thopter's got a lot of work ahead of it still.
Well, Adam could play a Hangerback Walker, it looks like. I think that's the only castable card in his hand besides the
Hardened Scales?
Hardened Scales.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think he can do anything in this game. I mean, had he made his land drops on time, it's definitely possible that could have been a much different game here.
Yeah.
You know, the mill wasn't as big this time from CJ. His game plan here really was just those two Phantasms crushing his opponent. So,
which I mean, pretty good when it's turn 1 Phantasm into turn 2 Glimpse. That's
yeah,
the ideal combination if you do want to be beaten down with Phantasms.
that is the way to go. Yeah, and Adam simply just draws that Nissa and passes the turn back. Nothing to do this turn.
Yeah, and at this point, he's going to lose his second mana, even if he top decks a land.
All right, sorry about that again, guys. Not too sure what's happening there. Our stream kind of keeps going down temporarily there, but hopefully not anymore. And let's see here. Another Glimpse of the Unthinkable out of CJ. Another 10 cards coming off the top for Adam here. Second copy Kataki. All right.
And a lot of lands.
Yeah, it's not what you really want to see if you're looking for a land. Man, if I'm CJ, I just ghost quarter that land.
Yeah.
Tell him, get a basic, do it. I dare you.
That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, Adam falling down to 3.
Keeping his birds.
If you draw, Path to Exile, I guess it's a pain-free way to do it.
Yeah.
And not die next turn. I don't like my chances at all, to be fair, but Adam looking over his hand, possibly contemplating where it all went wrong.
Probably siding in more than you sided out.
That'd be my guess. Moving to discard. There goes Nissa. If he has Path to Exile, he's not dead. Short of that, though, this game is over.
Yes.
I wasn't really keeping account.
Oh, there's Path.
Okay, so let's take 1 here. Interesting that he decided not to do that during combat. He did it on his upkeep, it looks like, though, so he's going to get a tapped land. He's not going to get access to that mana this turn.
I think I would have waited until combat.
Just to
block with
preserve the 1
birds
life.
And then tap the birds for the mana.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's no need. Back again, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Just having some problems tonight, it looks like, with our system here. So Phantasm untaps. It looks like that. CJ looking through Adam's graveyard at this point just to find out exactly what he has to even worry about. Likely not much.
these still on the same turn?
This is CJ's turn here, yeah. There's an extirpate from CJ.
So that's a split second surgical extraction.
Extirpate, there we are. Yeah, has to be cast for the black. Don't have the option of the 2 life, of course.
That's true.
This is before Phyrexian mana, before they made that mistake. We're going to look at Adam's hand here. It looks like he's got a couple of Hangerback Walkers, a Hardened Scales, a Kataki, a Nissa, and an Ajani. And exiles all copies of Path to Exile. Again, that's really the only card that CJ had to worry about here.
Yep, only thing
As
that gets rid
it's-
of his Phantasm.
Yeah, I think with that being the case, I think it's just game over, right? So, as Merrick Orb, sure, that's going to do more damage to you than it is Adam CJ, but whatever. At this point, what does that matter? Where we are. Yep, in comes the attack. There goes the bird. Go, you mill 1. Put that one in the graveyard, Adam. Get that out of here. Get that Linval out of here. Redraw, buddy. Get it in there. Oh, that's a land.
Oh.
All right.
Is Kataki 2 mana?
Kataki is 2 mana. I'm more curious. Avatar of the Resolute. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's green.
Has reach.
Oh, wow.
But wouldn't matter because he can't fetch, get a forest, and use brushland to make green mana. It's dead.
You're right. He's a 2.
So congratulations to CJ. Takes it down in 2.